morning. It's Saturday, November 9th. It's a power day. 9 is a power number. You might notice that I'm live streaming from my car. It's easy to see. That's because it's a little bit too windy and quite chilly today. It is November after all. Karen was up early today on the west coast. You can probably hear the wind behind me. But the ocean is behind me too. I'm at a beautiful area once again. This is our check-in where you let me know how you're doing. We let each other know how we're doing. We also let each other know if we're really struggling and if we need support. So this is we do that here. As I said before, I said yesterday and the day before, if you are struggling, if you're really, really struggling, if you were already teetering on a precipice and then this week happened, please send me an email, AnnetteDion7@gmail.com. And if you need a phone call, I will call you and we'll talk about it. I notice a lot of people here at this city park that I'm at. There's a lot of people walking their dogs, taking a walk, and just psychically tuning in. There's a very reflective, to put it mildly, energy going on. And I also passed a teacher's strike on the way here, and it's a possibility if they're still there, they probably will be. I may go interview them and talk to them about what they're wanting for their teachers union. I need to get more on top of what's going on there in my city. So I got up this morning and I'm just channeling guidance, and I wrote another Substack. So please go to Annette Dion on Substack, and please make sure you subscribe. It's free. I don't even think I have that one set up to receive payments for a yearly subscription yet. Yeah, what I said about MAGA learning about 2025 is happening. Yep, that's true. It's happening faster than I thought. And also, I'm interested in how you felt this morning. Because when we come out of our sleep state, that's when we're more in that kind of almost a psychic state. If you are sleeping. I am, which is good. Calm. Okay. All right. Praying for our Thank you for those overseas in other countries and in other countries that are praying for America. We can feel your prayers. I also feel very, very strongly that we are not the only country fighting a common enemy, and it has commonalities. It's not the same, don't get me wrong. It has commonalities to the onset of World War II, but we're not going into World War III. But there are some commonalities. If you look at world history, the common enemy was Hitler. And so, we had to join up. When Pearl Harbor happened, that's when America has this tendency of to just go to the brink and kind of get forced. I mean, it's really true. We kind of get forced to act. So, oh, you stayed up to see me live last night? Okay. And that's where we are. And I've always said, before change happens, it takes a catastrophe to get people off their asses, to be frank. Right? You feel energized, and Spirit told you to continue Kamala's joy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for keeping it really positive. 5 stars, countries involved in investigations. And that's exactly what my download was just the other day on the rocks. I went into this huge, explanation of what I had gotten as a download was that we are not alone. America is not alone in in our fight to save our democracy. Viva the resistance, right? And this is the resistance. I am the resistance. You know, maybe we need t-shirts. Judy saying, I'm not sleeping much, but then I seldom do. Yeah, join the club. I had the horrible affliction of insomnia for 25 years of my life, and fortunately it's cured. But it did give me like the blessing in disguise that I can completely function on barely anything, just fumes. But I'm also a regular meditator, twice a day. So that makes a big difference, because if you're a regular meditator, you start to realize that it's more profoundly restorative than even sleep. I wanted to talk today about uh, cranking back up Grassroots of Democracy. I had hit the pause button. My guides told me that my assignment was finished, but I got it wrong, because what they were saying, the rest of the story was that phase of the assignment was completed. So we're going into phase 2 with Grassroots of Democracy, and I just want to, the next couple of days, I'm going to kind of gauge uh, the involvement, the amount of involvement we can have. I talked about this, I had gotten admittedly very discouraged that for months and months, Grassroots of Democracy, even though I was begging people to just come to our meetings, to just be a presence. Like if you're having a party, you want bodies there, right? It feels really, really good when bodies show up. And for months and months at Grassroots of Democracy meetings, which were 3 times a week, you could only come to one. I mean, it's like pick and choose. You didn't have to come to every one. But I had gotten admittedly discouraged at how it had plateaued, not just for like a week, for like months. So now the need is more dire. Count me in, I'll be there. And I'm noticing too that people are more eager to jump back in, to take this opportunity, because we really do have to save our country from a murderous dictator. So they say, who was the one that paid for the multiple for the January 6th bus trips? Did I hear about the billionaire getting raided in Florida? I did. Kathy Beale told me that. Meditation, yes, absolutely. You awake all night. Was going to go to sleep this morning, but stayed awake to see me live. And oh, hang on, I don't want to delete you by mistake. Sorry, I couldn't read that in the chat. So thank you for saying you'll be in, and we'll talk about Grassroots of Democracy. Yeah, we'll talk about what we're going to do moving forward, and our initial meetings will be on a live stream. Counting today. Oh, good. I'm so glad. Thank you. And welcome to the new viewers and the new subscribers. Maria's saying some are meditating on the 11th at 11. Yeah, powerful. So Janine's saying, I'm very scared and terrified about Trump in the White House. You don't think you're the only one, do you? That's why we're doing this. My article that I wrote for Substack this morning, once again, go to Substack and subscribe, please, and read that newsletter. I really, truly believe this is the work that I'm in, that I'm channeling messages and putting them in my Substack blog. So go to Annette Dion on Substack and make sure you read that. Make sure you subscribe. Maria, I don't have the schedule for Grassroots of Democracy yet. I'm just kind of feeling my way through with the details, what would work best, and I welcome your input on that. Please hit the thumbs up while you're here, and please subscribe to this channel too if you haven't already. What I wrote, I'll just kind of give you a brief synopsis of what I wrote today for the Substack. Was the thing that is most disturbing to me that's going on in our country right now. Yeah, I believe you, Barbara. I truly not believe Trump will get into the White House. The thing that's more disturbing, or equally disturbing, is the conversation, and I've mentioned this before, that I cannot get involved in, or even listen to, or even read from anybody, from any source, It's unfathomable to me that there's major conversations, wide-reaching conversations about how we're going to cope. We're not going to be coping. We're going to make sure, and we are going to make sure collectively, that he doesn't get anywhere near entering our sacred people's house. Can I get a witness? Can I get a commitment from all of you that you will do everything in your power to make that the case? Yeah, you're only coping if you have no power. So really, this is what I wrote about in the article. Stop, because some of us are doing it unconsciously. I'm not, because I've trained my brain. But I can't say I haven't had my moments, right? Yeah, you're all in. Yay! I don't have my bell with me. I'd ring it. Virtual bell. Check in with yourself and ask yourself, am I thinking about how to cope? I honestly, just this morning I got a message from somebody. He and his grown son are making plans to move to another country. What? This is our country. That's basically handing it over to the tyrant. We don't do that here. We don't do that in America. We get up, dust ourselves off, and get back in the fight. And I mentioned last night seeing a video clip on Midas Touch of a black comedian. I don't know who he is, but he said, take the rest of this week, take these couple of days to, kind of readjust and rest and scream and, do, these aren't his words, but this is a sentiment. But on Monday, which is Veterans Day, we get to work. We have this window of time to make the prevention of a murderous fascist dictator and his cohorts. We make it true that he doesn't get even remotely close to enter into that sacred people's house that belongs to the people. Thank you for sharing. Yes. And, I don't mean to sound harsh, but we should be ashamed of ourselves if we don't stand up for our country that others gave the ultimate sacrifice for. So F you, Donald Trump, who went into Arlington Cemetery and called our military suckers and losers. And he did not get elected. He got installed, not installed yet, but elected to be installed by Putin and the Kremlin and Elon Musk. Let us be effing real. I'm going to start making calls, repeated calls to my representatives, to everybody that I can reach out to, which is really everybody, right? Everybody who's a representative of us, including Joe Biden, everybody, Kamala Harris, everybody. We can get in contact with everybody and say, we demand for this to be stopped. We need a recount. We need Kamala Harris in the White House. If you find yourself in that place where you're making plans, maybe it's not even conscious that you're doing it, but you notice that you're doing it, of what you're going to do when the tariffs are in place, when you can't get any food, when you lose your Social Security and your Medicare. If you're making plans, if you're building a shelter and preparing for nuclear Armageddon, just stop right there. Just stop it. Just stop it. This is a call to action, and no other calls to action have apparently worked, because like I always say, before people will really get off their butts, and that's everybody. I'm included in that. That's everybody. Before people get off their asses and do what needs to be done, there has to be a catastrophe. I don't know why. It's human nature. We take a lot for granted, and I'm not preaching because I'm included. This is all inclusive. Or I might be preaching, but I do have a church. So let's talk about what we do today. Let's talk about what we do over the weekend. How about we all commit to showing up at the Veterans Day memorial services that happen everywhere in every town, USA, and are so lightly attended by the American people normally that a lot of them have just stopped happening. Yep, Gino mourned all day and is back, a warrior to stop this evil justice. Yeah, stop the evil. Sorry if there's noise behind me. Some people get hypnotized by the ocean. They're oblivious, their engine's running. Think about it. When was the last time that you went to a memorial service on Memorial Day or Veterans Day? Not to feel guilty, just change the behavior. Yes, the 14th Amendment, I talk about that all the time. The 14th Amendment, Section C says that nobody who has participated in and aided an insurrection or insurrectionist and or both, it's both for Trump, right? He planned the damn thing. Should be allowed to run for office. So are we really going to put our lives in the hands of an illegitimate, corrupt, insurrectionist Supreme Court that's attempting to overthrow our government? No. So back to the topic of this being Veterans Day weekend. And I'm going to check back with you all tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow, but Monday, Tuesday. Probably Monday for PNN. I'm going to check back with you all. And I'm going to ask you if you attended a Veterans Day service. If you didn't get the notification that I'm on, make sure that you hit the notification bell. I notice people are saying they didn't get the notification. I've committed to be on every single morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, except for Sundays, which is tomorrow. I do Church of Spirituality at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Somebody saying a MAGA person asked asked them if they were going to move to another country. Believe me, there's going to be a ton of MAGA tears shed over what they have potentially just voted for. Starting to happen already sooner than I thought. I do want to reiterate, in case you missed it, a little bit of the download that I got. It's kind of in steps. The step one, point number one. On election night, there were plans for an all-out bloodbath by the MAGA right-wing extremists, by the terrorists, right? There were plans for, if they declared Kamala a winner right around, Tuesday, Wednesday, that they were going to start a violent attack. That didn't happen because it was, the fraud said that he won. Number two, phase two, step two, is that the people that are MAGA had no idea what Project 2025 is and what is in it. Right? There's not one of them that you can point to, one MAGA Trump supporter that you can point to. I challenge you to do this, that you can ask them, did you know what's in Project 2025? And they can say yes, and they can name what's in Project 2025. And Trump was denying that he was even in that document, which is over 900 pages. He was denying it, when in fact his name is mentioned in Project 2025 over 300 times. So now that the MAGAs are hearing about it for the first time ever, because that's how brainwashed they are to not see things, they're in their MAGA fog. They're going to lose their Social Security potentially, would be based on what's in Project 2025, healthcare, food safety, environmental safety, all government agencies, all all food aid, all women's rights, all, like the list is seemingly, it's very long, seemingly endless. Well, yeah, someone's saying I believe that they are that ignorant, but you can't be ignorant once you feel it in real time. And what's happening is they're starting to imagine it when they are hearing 20% tariffs. Okay, so that's phase two. They wake the hell up, which in turn makes them stop pointing their finger at us because our person didn't get in. And I'm just speaking on about what we've seen so far. I do believe that she is going to get in. Stage three, when the Democrats make public the votes weren't counted, when the investigators, the FBI, the CIA start to talk about what was going on there on Tuesday night and before, behind the scenes, this is interesting. I believe Midas Touch stated the #1 search after the election was, how can I change my vote? Oh, that's interesting. Once we start to get wind of behind the scenes, what was going on, and our enemy countries are what our enemies are doing, our allies are in the know about. They know what Elon is up to. Don't think for a second that Zelensky isn't very clear-headed about what Elon and Putin are doing, and Trump. Once that gets out into the open, once the Democrats start putting question marks all over this election result, this fake election result, guess what? And this bears repeating. I know I've said it already, but just in case you missed it or you need to hear it again. The MAGAs stop pointing fingers at the Democrats being the Antichrist, and they start to realize that what they actually voted for is Satan incarnate and his cohorts. So they're going to be furious. They're going to be vehemently furious and angry at who? At Trump. All that anger and all that rage that they were projecting onto us is going to shift over to Trump as the enemy. Trump was Mussolini in his last life. What happened in his last life? You know your world history a little bit? I do. A little bit. When the election results that we heard on Tuesday night become in question, then we have all the prior MAGA supporters on our side. Kamala Harris won this election. She won it freely and honestly. You know, what people are so worried about and looking at, what some people are so worried about and looking at as like, oh, this is the reality, is really a scenario where we all die. Right? The people that just and check yourself, right? What are we made of? I know that everybody that's mourning and sad and that's part of it. That's fine. Grieve away, please. But anybody that you talk to, that you hear on a video or you read an article, anybody that's saying, now we have to figure out how we're going to make it through a Trump administration. If you're talking to them in person, say, we're not going to allow this as a collective, and mean it, because we're not. It's not an option, because that scenario means the whole world, we all die. Okay? We all die. Failure is not an option here. We only have one choice. We only have one choice that enables us to survive. Physically survive. And that's to make sure that he gets not even 1,000 miles close to the White House. We are the resistance. We are rising up. America, we gave the message to the king. We were founded on that. We will not submit. We fight. When we fight, we win. What a great, somebody said yesterday, that was so prophetic what Kamala said. And speaking of Kamala, psychically I know that she has a lot of information about what's going on. So what I want to do is I'm going to make an effort to make these videos a half an hour and not much longer. And we're kind of winding down to that. But I commit to being here every day to building grassroots of democracy, and it's going to happen immediately. It's going to happen immediately. Okay? We're in this absolutely together. Please hit the thumbs up. And I really, really want to let you know that the maybe 60 seconds that I saw of Kamala's concession speech, I did not detect any sense of resignation from her. Her speech did not say she resigned to this being the reality. Kamala Harris is a hugely compassionate human being. She's met a lot of beautiful people on the campaign trail, and when she promised it would be okay, she meant it. Okay? She never said defeat. She never said defeat. Because we're not defeated. So once again, please go to my Substack and read the article that I wrote for today, and please subscribe to my Substack. It's free. Just look for my name. I will post it on the community page. We'll talk more about how we're going to navigate to bring back grassroots of democracy, to kind of just reactivate it, reboot it. And, you know, somebody's saying something about what Biden said. There's certain things that, you know, I encourage you all to just look at what is good. Biden will say and do what Biden feels that he needs to say and do. But don't forget, Joe Biden is a Scorpio. His birthday is this month. And there's a whole lot going on behind the scenes of Biden that we'll never know about. Okay. Visualize Kamala Harris in the White House. Yes, and I want to kind of wind down with that. Yeah, things are not what they seem. My guidance has told me, especially if I find myself with the terrors, and who doesn't right now, right? No matter how hard we work at it and not going there. I've actually been going to all my metaphysical education through the years, and it's scientifically researched and proven now. Scientifically researched and proven now. It wasn't when I first started studying metaphysics. That when a collective energy, a collective populace focuses their attention, this goes for individuals too, but focuses their attention on a particular outcome, it happens. That's the material that my guides have guided me to, and not really Midas touch right now, and not the news, and not the headlines. And I'm being very discriminatory about what I will allow into my consciousness. Right now, it's critically important. It always is, but right now, our survival, it depends on it. It's critically important right now that we are disciplined and not letting that reality that we don't want to enter into our consciousness, to not get into a place where we're mulling it over. It's really important from a metaphysical standpoint. I talk about this stuff all the time. Go to any of the Science of Mind, the Church of Spirituality videos. Go to last week's, okay? So, So that's what my guidance is. And when I do that, my whole energy shifts. It's almost like a miracle. Are you saying you want me to stay on longer? I'm actually staying on longer than I intended to. But it's important. So you can promise me, you can put a yes up there that you will focus your mind on Kamala Harris in the White House and us having averted this potential end of the world. And I wish that I wasn't serious about that, but that's literal. Yes, so you will. Every time you go to war, you're going to make a concerted effort. We're going to help each other to do this. That's why we're meeting every single day. Yeah, thank you. Learn about the power of energy. Learn about the power of being able to manifest the reality that you want to see. And when we do it collectively, there is nothing can defeat that. Okay. Electra Storm saying, I go back and forth between anger and worry and hope. Yeah, it's normal to have the anger. It's normal to have the worry. We'd all be lying if we said we didn't have it, because of course we do. Yes, I'm not being hyperbolic. The survival of our planet depends on us not letting this thing they're saying is going to happen. So let's do a little prayer. I'm also going to reach out to all the psychics who I have contact information for, which is a lot because they had that psychic-a-thon and they played my songs. And I'm going to do that today. Send all the psychics who have YouTube channels an email telling them to send the message out to their viewers that they also must do the same. Get everybody to visualize Kamala Harris in the White House. I can't even tell you how powerful that is because I can't describe how powerful that is. Okay? So pass that on, please. Share my videos. If you are struggling with thoughts of ending your life, I'm just going to come out right out and say it. Send me an email and I will call you. AnnetteDion7@gmail.com. Please. And I'll talk you through it. Okay? I also, before I go, we're going to do a little prayer, little intending prayer. I'm now offering a session for half an hour, $50, tranquil soul session. A one-on-one on the phone where I teach you what to do to calm down if you're having panic and anxiety attacks. Please book a reading. I need readings to keep my channel going. I need readings to keep paying my bills. PsychicAnnetteDion.com. If you can afford a full reading, it really helps this to keep going. You notice I don't have investors. I only have skippable ads, okay? So I need your support to keep supporting all of us. PsychicAnnetteDion.com. Grassroots of Democracy is going to restart again. Grassroots of Democracy on the home page has the song We Won't Be Backing Down, which is actually most appropriate now, even more so than before the election, about Jan 6 and that we're taking back our democracy. And I'm going to put up in the next couple of days the other song, We've Got to Come Together, that I wrote like a year ago to the day. Okay? Let's do a prayer. So everybody take a deep breath together. Light workers are here at this time for a reason. Absolutely. I signed up for this, so I've got to answer the call. We're all answering the call here. Close your eyes if you want. Take a deep breath in and hold it. And a longer exhalation. And do that 2 more times, taking that deep breath in and hold it. And an even longer exhalation, and do that 1 more time. And let us see ourselves as one organism. Just feel that, just contemplate that you're not just you as an individual alone there. We are all one massive energy, massive consciousness. There's no separation. And together right now, we hold a very, very clear vision of this situation we find ourselves in, completely turning around and completely shifting. And we see Kamala Harris behind the Resolute desk. We see Kamala Harris being sworn in to the presidency. Imagine it. Feel the feeling of Kamala Harris in the White House as Madam President. Feel the feeling of the entire country on board. Feel the feeling of all those who were misled, having their moment of awakening. Feel the feeling. We know it's not every single person. All we need is a majority of the people in America to be on board with saving our democracy and our freedom, not just for us, but for the rest of the world. We've rejected evil. We've rejected all manifestations of fascism. And we all now feel the feeling of exuberation and real excitement, and people are crying tears of joy that we have turned this thing around. Just like our founding fathers, we have removed ourselves from the tyrant and all his minions. We trust the divine intelligence to do this work, co-creating this reality with us. And now, like a bubble of energy, we send it out into the universe with a sense of immense gratitude, since we feel it and we know it. No doubt, no fear, no cynicism has any power here. It's all canceled out. Any negativity is dissolved and released. Feel that energy going out into the universe, returning fulfilled. Madam President and Vice President Walz, and we are happy. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you so much for being here. I will be back for Church of Spirituality tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, like we do every Sunday. Please join us for that. And I will come back tomorrow afternoon at some point, and we'll chat again like this. All right, please share the video if it's been helpful, especially, and go to my Substack and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. All right, it was great to be with you today. Namaste.